Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FAMS Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle, and today we're going to focus on the basics, understanding the foundation of the practice. Now, yoga is traditionally practiced barefoot, but if you're more comfortable with shoes and socks, feel free. Just be aware of your surroundings and any trip hazards. Also, today's practice will be done seated. So choose a chair that's stable and also safe. So avoid anything that rocks, reclines, or rolls. And make sure that you listen to your body, because just like any exercise program, if you have any range of motion concerns or injuries, if something doesn't feel right for you, welcome the modifications, or please don't do it. So let's go ahead and get started. Sitting comfortably in your chair, if it has a seat back, maybe sit about 2 to 3 inches forward so that we're not relying on the seat back, learning to engage the core. Also making sure that your sit bones are firmly rooted. One thing that I like to do when I change positions is to conduct a little test, maybe leaning from side to side, forward and back, to ensure that the chair remains stable and still through that range of motion. You can also adjust your foot position, whether your knees and ankles are at hip width or shoulder width or anywhere in between. And then you can place your hands either palms down or palms up in your lap. Let's invite the eyes to close, and we're going to conduct a little body scan, taking note of what you feel and how you feel today. So start with the face as you gently relax the brow. And now let's soften the jaw and the cheeks, making sure there's no clenching or grinding, maybe even leaving a little cushion of space between your back teeth. And from here, let's start to lengthen the neck by slowly lowering the chin toward the chest. No forcing, just allowing gravity to tug at the forehead. And this is going to create a light stretch from the base of the skull all the way out to the distal edges of your shoulders. And with the chin tucked in, let's slowly rotate the head, kind of sweeping the chin from shoulder to shoulder. Staying within a range of motion that's comfortable for you. Head back to neutral. Now let's level the chin parallel to the floor. And from here, begin to release the right ear toward the right shoulder. And this is going to create a nice stretch laterally from the ear out. And sometimes if those muscles are really tight, you may notice that shoulder lift in response. So if it's comfortable, try to release the shoulders down. Good. Head back to center, and we're just going to switch sides. Nice and easy. Again, seeking out a comfortable stretch every time. Good, and head back to neutral. Now, traveling into the shoulders, but specifically the shoulder blades, and start to lower them down and back. Actually picturing those shoulder blades and imagining that you're pinching them or pinching a magic marker between them. And we call that scapular retraction. And notice how it corrects the posture, but also opens and lifts the chest, helping us ready ourselves for that deeper breath. And of course, we couldn't make that adjustment without engaging the core muscles as well. So feeling your navel drawing in toward the spine, creating some support on both sides. So the abs and the back are working in synergy. Now let's release the hands as you rotate your wrists, wiggle the fingers, and give your hands a nice squeeze. Maybe even flex and extend the wrists, helping to lengthen the muscles in the forearms. And then gently allow the hands to come to rest. Good. Now from here, we're going to quiet the mind, directing the gaze a little deeper inward to your breathing. So maybe take a moment to notice your normal, natural breath. Notice its pace and length, maybe even the ease or difficulty today. Sometimes with allergies and even a little stuffiness can affect our breathing pattern. Now, during the practice of yoga, we use a breath technique that's much slower and more deep. We call it a diaphragmatic breath. And we like to say it begins in the base of the abdomen and rises all the way to the collarbones, only to release it in reverse. So we're going to give it a little try, step by step. So if it's comfortable, first, with the mouth closed, begin to draw the air only in and out through the nose. And then begin to lengthen and deepen the breath. But take your time. And we're just going to focus on the effort and quality of each phase of each breath. So on the inhales, actually feel your abdomen kind of reaching forward. And then feel your rib cage expand out to the side walls. Taking that breath as high as you can up into the collarbones, and then release it in reverse. Slow and steady. And we're just going to create a nice rhythmic flow so that one breath moves seamlessly into the next and back again, just like the tides rolling in and out to sea. But our focus for today's practice is being present. And this breath is so unique from your normal natural rhythm that it helps keep you aware and calm of what you're feeling and how you're feeling throughout your practice. So if at any point you start to feel the breath become short, shallow, stuck in the chest, or even if you open your mouth to breathe, that may be your body signaling that it needs to take a break. But no worries, you can always begin again. Because the true essence of yoga is about honoring the body, letting go of competition with ourselves, and celebrating also where you are today, in this breath, in this body, and in this moment. So again, inviting the eyes to close, and give me 5 more deep cleansing breaths as we prepare to begin. Good. Now, placing your hands either flat on your lap or right at the edges of the knees. And we're going to start to bring some flexion and extension in the spine, helping to warm things up a bit. So when you're ready, on an inhale, just start to drop those shoulders down and back and begin to lift the chin. Maybe even sending the sternum slightly forward, creating a little hollow in the back. And notice what you're feeling. Maybe a light stretch in the front body, a little more strength and energy in the back body. Now on an exhale, we're just going to change directions. So start to slowly round the back. Again, stopping as soon as you feel a comfortable amount of tension. We're just closing in that angle from the chest toward the hips, but still keeping the pressure even in the backs of the thighs and the sit bones. And of course, your feet nice and flat. Good, and let's slowly rise up. And I'm actually going to show you what that looks like from the side. So again, with the hands flat, on an inhale, start to unroll. Lift the chin, drop the shoulders slightly back, sending the sternum forward, and again creating a little hollow in the back. And then on an exhale, slowly begin to round the back. Curling in, pausing here, and noticing what you feel from the base of the skull all the way down to the waist. Good. Let's slowly rise up. I'm going to change my orientation once again because we're going to link that with the breath. So starting with the hands on the thighs, let's inhale, unroll, lift the chin, drop the shoulders down and back. And then on an exhale, slowly curling in. Now we want to move no faster than the rhythm of this new breath, not our normal natural breath, which would be much too fast. But this slow motion rhythm allows you, once again, to stay present and calm every step of the way, and aware of the sensations as they arise. So at any point throughout this range of motion, if something doesn't feel comfortable, remember, you can always modify, stop short, or omit the flow altogether. So let's do 3 more. We're using this as a warm-up to stimulate blood flow to the muscles and also helping to improve the range of motion in the upper, mid, and lower back. Now, as you make your way to that final round, let's go ahead and slowly rise up, sitting nice and tall. Now, some of you may have arms on your seat, which is fine, but we're going to release the arms down to our side. So whether it's on the side of your chair or right along the side of the thighs. And we're going to focus now on lateral flexion and extension. So on an inhale, we're going to send that left arm up and slightly over. So getting a nice reach through those fingertips. And if you're taking care of the shoulders, you can certainly adjust the arm position, maybe a little farther forward, or adding a little bend in the elbow, but even noticing the comfort in your neck and making the adjustments accordingly. Even looking down toward that right hand might be a bit more comfortable. But keeping the weight even in both sit bones and rising away from the waist as we reach. Good. Exhale, slowly lower. Let's inhale up and over opposite side. And take your time, finding that sweet spot and making sure that the weight is still evenly distributed, both in the feet and the sit bones, and rising away from the waist, because we don't want to collapse into that side. Good. Exhale, slowly release. Now, just like before, we're going to link one breath, one movement. So take your time, and on an inhale, let's lift and reach. Exhale, slowly lower. Good. Inhale, up and over, opposite side. And exhale, release. And maybe imagining that you're exercising in water, so we want to move slowly as if you had some resistance that you were working against. Because there's no rushing or racing in our practice. Good. Let's do 2 more on each side. And as you make your way to that final round, on that last side, no rush, no hurry, well, we're going to allow that hand to come to rest. Good. Now, elevating the arms, bring some strength into those muscles as well. So we want to release some of that tension. So just slowly begin to roll the shoulders toward the back. You can even place your hands on your thighs if you'd like. And then lower the chin toward the chest very gently, and we're going to switch the rotation, rolling the shoulders forward. Good. And now let's set those shoulders down and back, and once again sitting nice and tall. Our next round of movements is called a Spinal Elixir, and it's a great way to again strengthen the core but also improve the range of motion in the spine and the shoulder girdle. So once again, release the arms down to your sides, creating a stable base, whether it's hip or shoulder width apart with the feet. And on an inhale, we're going to send the arms up. Nice energetic reach. And again, you can adjust that range of motion based on what's comfortable for you. But this move, we'll see in subsequent practices, it's going to be very similar to a warrior pose. Nice strong engagement in the shoulders and the back. So reaching through the fingertips and the top of the head and still creating a little bit of a pinch with those shoulder blades and both sit bones firmly rooted. Nice. Exhale, let's open out into a T, reaching through those fingertips. Nice energetic extension. And still breathing deeply. Now on an inhale, we're going to reach to the right, keeping both sit bones firmly rooted and the arms parallel to the floor. So we're not banking like an airplane. But again, if it's not comfortable, you can release the arms down to your sides and just give me a slight lean, still engaging through the core. Good. And now on an exhale, we'll pass through center, reaching to the opposite side. Same thing, keeping the sit bones rooted. Good. Inhale, let's pass through center, sweeping the arms back overhead. And maybe even give me a little lift of the chin. Reaching through the fingertips, still feeling those core muscles engaged. Excellent. On an exhale, float those arms back down to your sides. Now, we're going to link one breath, one movement, combining all of those movements together, and again, listening to your body and moving no faster than the rhythm of your breath. So when you're ready, on an inhale, let's send those arms up. Energetic reach. Exhale, open into your T. Inhale, reach to the right. Exhale, all the way to the left. Inhale, let's pass through center, sweep the arms back overhead. And on an exhale, float the arms back down to your sides. Good. Again, inhale to rise. Exhale, open. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, pass through center, sweep the arms back overhead. And exhale, release. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, pass through center, sweep the arms back overhead. And on an exhale, release the arms down to your sides. Now, once again, we created some energy in the shoulders and the upper back, so we want to release it. Hands on the thighs, slowly roll the shoulders toward the back. Lowering the chin toward the chest and gently roll the shoulders forward. Good. And now release the shoulders back into neutral, sitting tall. And because we place a lot of focus in that area, we want to make sure that we lengthen and stretch the muscles as well. So we're going to come into a light shoulder stretch. So starting with the left hand, go ahead and cross it in front of the body. And you can then place the right hand on the upper arm or at the shoulder or even the elbow, and gently hug the arm in toward the chest. Just make sure that both shoulders are down and back. And the shoulder girdle is kind of a delicate joint, so we want to make sure again that you're always searching for that point of tension in your stretches, never pain or discomfort. And maybe even invite the eyes to close, remaining present and aware of what you're feeling and aware of your breathing. Notice as you take those deep breaths how the rib cage expands and maybe even deepens that stretch internally for you. We're going to slowly release, but still working on this side. Just begin to send that left arm back up, and we're going to bend the elbow as if you were patting yourselves on the back for such a good job today. And you can take that right hand and approach from the front or across the top. Just make sure that whatever position you're in, it doesn't affect your posture. I want you to still stay nice and tall. Feet are flat. And we're rising away from the waist as you create a little bit of openness in the triceps. Good, and we're going to slowly release. And now let's prepare for the opposite side. So crossing now the right arm in front of the body, and we're going to hook it with the left, whether it's your elbow or the hand, but make sure those shoulders stay down and back as you draw the arm gently in. And once again, keeping the core strong by sitting upright, evenly distributing your weight in the sit bones, the thighs, and your feet. And of course, breathing deeply. Now, you may be familiar with a lot of these stretches, but some stretches we don't hold as long as we should. So in yoga, we really want to tap into the stretch response. So most of our time is spent anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds in a stretch. And that's going to, again, help lengthen the muscles and also improve the range of motion in the joint. So let's go ahead and slowly release, and we will send now that arm straight up, reaching for the ceiling. Bend the elbow to pat yourselves on the back, and you can approach from the front or across the top, and just providing some light pressure until you feel a comfortable stretch in the tricep. Again, if this is not appropriate for your shoulders or even this side, you can omit it. Nice deep breaths here. And if it's available to you, even inviting the eyes to close so that you can stay present and aware of what muscles you're targeting. Good. And slowly release. Nice. Now, all of that good posture and sitting upright, it's going to create a little bit of tension in your back. Totally normal, but we do want to address that area as well. So we're going to add a light spinal twist. Now, if you're taking care of the lower lumbar region, I want you to be very mindful of your range of motion, and again, stopping short of any discomfort or omitting this pose altogether. So keeping your weight still evenly distributed, knees bent, feet are flat, and whether you have arms or not, we're just going to twist to the right. You can even place your left hand on the outside of the right knee, holding on maybe to the armrest or the other side of the chair, and we're just going to push gently against the chair or the thigh, but let the thigh push back with a little equal force. And sitting tall and noticing what you feel from the shoulder blades all the way down to the waist. Even relaxing the shoulders and the neck and breathing into the resistance as well. Good. And let's bring the head back to neutral, and we're just going to switch sides. So take your time, finding your sweet spot, sitting tall, and if you are using your leg for support as well, remember to push against the hand with equal force, relaxing the shoulders, and because of the head position as well, make sure that it's comfortable for the neck. And slowly return to center. Fantastic. Now, we're going to start to relax the body a bit as we prepare to close out our practice. So maybe slide back just a bit. If you do have a seat back and you would like to settle in a little deeper, that is fine as well. But we'll start by first scanning the body from head to toe, and taking note of all of the wonderful sensations that you conjured up through your first FAMS flow practice. Even noticing maybe some lightness in the neck and shoulders, a little bit more strength in the abs and the back. And then give me one more deep cleansing breath as you return to your normal natural rate, and softening the face with a smile, honoring yourselves for taking this time out today just for you. Now, if it's available, let's invite the eyes to close, and we're going to take 5 more breaths as we take rest. Now very slowly, let's begin to awaken the extremities. Maybe first start by wiggling the fingers and the toes. And then rotate the wrists and the ankles. And now from here, let's slowly sweep the arms up, getting a nice extended reach. You could even interlace the fingers and maybe look between the hands. A slight arch in the back, taking a deep breath here. And then relax the spine, releasing the hands back to the thighs. And that concludes our physical practice for today. Now, let's stay tuned for your mindful moment. Embarking on a new wellness adventure is a wonderful opportunity to become more present and aware of the mind and body, but also how you're feeling during the process. Through a regular yoga practice, you will learn to cultivate breath awareness to help remain grounded in the moment every step of the way. So please invite the gaze to soften or the eyes to close, and take the next 2 minutes to sit quietly and reflect on what it means to be fully present.